What if it was possible to have local, fresh groceries delivered right to your door? Think of all the free time you'd have. Well, Instacart gives unlimited grocery delivery for one low monthly fee. Forgot that special ingredient in your favorite dish? Instacart can deliver it to your front door in as fast as 1 hour. You can shop multiple stores, see deals in your area, and save time and money. I've been using Instacart for over 3 years. I started using them in Arizona, and I'm using them here in Florida. I love the time-saving convenience. They pick the freshest products, and they keep my eggs safe too. To receive your first delivery free, follow the link in the show notes so that Instacart knows that we sent you and to help support the show. Instacart. Never step foot in a grocery store again. Welcome to Empowered Within, a soul-quenching, transformational podcast that will set your soul on fire through candid and inspiring conversations. Leading experts, celebrities, healers, and I share our journeys of how we've overcome challenges to living an empowered life from within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates. Welcome to another episode of Empowered Within. Hi there, and welcome to the show. Are you ready to talk about everything triggers, self-sabotaging, and how we can stop? Because that's what we're going to do today. Our guest, April Adams, is an emotional health consultant specializing in resolving resentment, worries, longing, emotional triggers, and self-sabotage. Her primary tool is an evidence-based audio track that is designed to get to the root of any emotional issue and unplug the negative emotional charge attached to it on the subconscious level of the mind. She loves working with empaths and women having relationship struggles. She has been in the nurturing industry for over 25 years and is the author of 2 Amazon amazing best-selling books. April has recently become the International Director of Orpheus Academy, guiding the next generation of subconscious practitioners into achieving incredible results for their clients. Welcome to the show, April.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Always great to have you here. We are soul sister empaths wanting to heal the world. So first, let's just talk about how you came into this work and how you've really become this specialist in resolving issues, especially self-sabotage, around the subconscious level.
Right. Well, I tried everything. I had my own issues, my own problems, and my own horrible mindset, and finally realized that it was all me and set out to heal that. So I was trying everything under the sun, and I went to therapy, and I was doing mindfulness, and I was reading self-help books, and I was meditating. I was doing all the right things, but I still wasn't getting lasting relief and lasting results and really making permanent change within my mind and my mindset. And then finally, I started getting the push to work on the subconscious level. And I found the tools that I work with now and started immediately just getting really lasting results very quickly and easily. So I was just going, oh my gosh, this is something that actually works. And I'm not having to peel back layer after layer after layer of the same exact issue over and over again. Is just able to finally resolve it. So I was just going, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know about this. How do we get everybody to be able to do this? So that's why I do what I do now.
That is amazing. So for those out there who go, well, I don't really understand self-sabotage. What would you say is a great example of self-sabotaging?
Well, there's a lot of different ways that we can sabotage ourselves. But, for instance, let's just say somebody wants to become famous. And everything within them is just like, yes, I just want to be famous. I want people to see me and know me. And I want to make a big difference in the world and all of this. But if there's any part of you that feels like, oh, if I'm famous, then I won't have any privacy. Or if I become famous, it'll open me to public scrutiny and I'll constantly be criticized and I can't handle that. So those things lingering in the back of your mind are going to create patterns of behavior that will block you from achieving the fame that you desire. So no matter what we want on the conscious logical level, if our subconscious mind believes something else about it, or if any part of us believes something different about that thing, or believes that there's a negative outcome on the other side of it, then we're just going to continue sabotaging even our best efforts to make the thing that we want occur.
And what about when we talk about this and someone goes, well, but I don't think I'm thinking that. How do we get and find that root to know, oh, wow, like I might really be self-sabotaging this relationship, this job, wanting to become famous, wanting to be a best-selling author?
Right. And much of the time, it's just that quiet little voice that argues with you. You know, when you say that you want something or you're working towards something, there tends to be this little voice in the back of your mind going, uh-oh, what if this? And it's just this brief blip, momentary thing, or maybe it'll show up when you're dreaming and you'll start having fear dreams about that thing happening. So it tends to be a little bit quieter than what you're consciously thinking day to day. So it's a little bit sneakier. But a trick that you can use to really kind of dig it up and figure out like, what's going on here, especially if you've been working towards something or you want to improve something about yourself and it hasn't been happening, or your behavior hasn't been backing it up. You can always do some kind of journaling exercise where you do not take your pen off the paper and you just go, why am I sabotaging this thing I want so badly? Maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. And just keep writing. Don't let yourself pause. Don't let yourself take any kind of break. Just keep writing whatever words and things come to your brain and just keep going with that until you go, oh. And there will be this moment where you just realize, oh, yeah, that's the thing. That's the kicker right there. And then you know what it is that you need to work on in order to move past that blockage and be able to start really creating what you want. Right. Because, you know, kind of what's going on in the background is that our beliefs drive our behaviors. And so whatever we believe, whether it's conscious, subconscious, whether it's known or unknown on a conscious level, there are these beliefs that we've been having, and a lot of it is societal programming, things we were told over and over again when we were young, or just our own experiences piling up in our lives, creating these negative belief patterns that don't serve us. And so if we have these limiting beliefs going on in the back of our mind, our behaviors are always going to falter from our best intentions.
Interesting. So when you are working with clients and you are helping them to get past this, to get to the root, what is your process?
Yeah, well, with root finding, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. And you could try the journaling exercise I just talked about. But what I typically do with my clients is I'll do some regression hypnosis, and often we'll have them bring up whatever their feeling is. If they were to picture themselves becoming famous, for instance, and really feeling into that and noticing if there's any negativity. But typically I just have people think about whatever the negative thing or the negative outcome or the negative feeling is attached to something. And then we do regression to bring them back to the origin point of that. So that origin point could be earlier in this life. It could be early childhood. It could be pre-memory. Sometimes it's in utero, something that happened when you were in your mother. It can be ancestral patterns, and sometimes it's even past life stuff. So it's fascinating to me where these roots can come from and how many different, types of blockages and places that they could be hiding. So that's a big part of the work that I tend to do with people. And it also, I don't know if you've ever heard of RTT, rapid transformation therapy. Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like inner child work, EFT. It combines a few different things. And you know me, I love a good modality that combines a few modalities into it because I find them far more effective when you throw several tools into the pot instead of just one. And so I do sometimes do those kinds of practices with people as well. And rather than doing a hypnosis thing where you're going deep and you're, in this super relaxed state, I may just have them do EFT or something along those lines, some kind of bilateral stimulation of their body while they are thinking about a certain pain point or a certain craving that they have, or, whatever the negative thing is that's coming up for them, and going back to the points throughout history where they have experienced similar things in order to find those roots, because those roots are there, like on the tip of the tongue of the subconscious mind. We think it's really hard to get information from the subconscious, but it's not. The getting information from the subconscious, super easy if you know how to do it. It's creating change on the level of the subconscious that really tends to take all of the bells and whistles to really make it happen.
Right. So that sounds super fascinating. So you have an incredible toolbox for those that go, well, yeah, I don't know about this whole hypnosis thing and regression and past lives. What? To be able to offer and go, okay, EFT, yeah, I've heard about the tapping. Okay, yeah, let's go with that route, because now we have another belief of fear of hypnosis and regression, right? So we've got to work through it all. Are you ready to lose inches, increase strength, and tone your body from head to toe? Are you ready for a total body, mind, and spirit transformation? I am excited to announce that I am launching my exclusive 8-week Pilates Return to Life training program. This will give you an opportunity to have a total body, mind, and spirit transformation of health and wellness to a new lifestyle. Imagine in 7 days you will feel a difference, in 14 days you will see a difference, and in 8 weeks you will have your new Pilates body. So what do you say? Want to join me on the mat? Head over to jenniferpilates.com today. Space is limited. Use a special promo code EW and the word special, EW special, to receive $200 off while space is available. Head on over to jenniferpilates.com and I'll see you on the mat. Yeah. And I always find it pretty funny how resistant people are to hypnosis. I think that the entertainment industry with hypnosis really kind of ruined the whole practice for many people, because I have had people ask me if I was going to make them do anything crazy like bark like a dog or dance around or be triggered by certain words or anything like that in their day-to-day lives. And it blows my mind that that's even a consideration. Mm-hmm. Right. It is sad. And I do feel like it's making a bit of a comeback.
Right.
I've been seeing it, it definitely is making a bit of a comeback, and it just depends on where you're at. And I just think it's so wonderful when you have someone like yourself who has this well-rounded, amazing toolbox that no matter what block that person may have to whatever modality, you're like, but wait, I've got something else, because I'm here to make you feel comfortable and to help you want to get through it and to get to that next level.
Yeah. And, it can be fairly easy to figure certain blocks out just by asking yourself the right questions without even having to go deep on any level. So just asking yourself when something's bothering you, asking what is really bothering me about this? And then, when you're able to figure that out, like, let's say your kids are disrespecting you, your kids are talking back, they don't listen, they don't respect you. So if you really think about that and go, okay, what's really bothering me about the way the kids are treating me and reacting right now? And if you go, oh, yeah, they're being super disrespectful to me, then you can ask yourself, all right, the disrespect is the trigger here. When in my life have I been disrespected before? Or what's the pattern of disrespect in my life? And then knowing that then is the thing you need to work on and resolve on those deeper levels in order to be able to move on and stop that reactivity to that particular trigger.
I think that's important that you bring that up, because I know you and I always talk about the patterns. Generally, whatever is going on in your personal life is most likely playing out in your work life and in your family life. And so when you can really see that bigger picture and go, wait, I can just be here with April with one modality and handle all of it with one pebble, so to speak, and there's this ripple effect. It's pretty amazing.
Right. Yeah. And that's really what I love about this. And I would say 9 times out of 10, the stupid little things that bother us day to day, or the things that drive us crazy about our boss or our spouse or anything like that, they tend to go back to childhood wounds. They often go back to things that happened before we were even 7 years old. So it's not as small and puny as we tend to logically try to make it. Are lifelong patterns that need healing.
Right. And so when someone comes to you, where do they start?
Yeah, good question. So the first step with me is I do an intake interview and I ask about every area of their life. So we start with, okay, what's bothering you most? What is really coming up for you that you want to resolve? And then we go into, what's your romantic life like? What's your work life like? Are you satisfied and do you feel fulfilled in your work? And we look at your childhood and certain patterns, and especially the negative aspects of, how you felt repeatedly as a kid, because many of us will have felt alone or not belonging, or that all of the responsibilities were put on us. There tend to be something in childhood that keeps coming up over and over again, so I always like to dig into those. We set some goals about the future. We talk about any traumas, phobias, things like that tend to be blocking you. And then once we've kind of got that full picture, I start showing people the tools to just be able to start resolving those things at their root, so that you're not having to work on the same issue over and over again. You're kind of drawing that line to those origin points, those roots in your history. And so you're resolving the stuff that bothers you now by looking at the history and the feelings that come up now when you're doing it, healing it in both places, so that you're just detaching the emotional reactivity. And next, we tend to dive into beliefs. So after we have gone through the emotional reactivity to things, emotional wounds, fears, stuff like that, we start deep diving into belief patterns. And that's the next big thing, because that's what controls our behaviors. And that's where we go with self-sabotage. And self-sabotage can come from a place of fear, but it can also come from those limiting beliefs that we tend to carry.
Right. And I think some people may interpret the words fear with protection when it comes to self-sabotage. Yes. Right. Because they think they're protecting themselves, but really it's that fear of, that unknown reality that really isn't reality with what's going on.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, yeah. I know I can attest to what April is speaking of, because we've done some incredible work together with these programs after, I think it's been a couple of years now, when you first came on the podcast ever, and we started talking and I said, oh gosh, I need to do whatever this is. And we have become incredible soul sister family, and the work has been unbelievable. And even in moments where I've had some crazy things happening and your first words are you using the tools? And I'd be like, oh my gosh. And that's why it's so important to have an incredible coach and support unit like April, because even when you think you have it all together, you still need that support for someone to go, hey, here's your lifeline. Don't forget about A, B, and C.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And originally when I found these tools, because I was doing Reiki on my clients, I was doing spiritual coaching, things like that. But I found these tools, and because I was able to apply them to my own issues, as soon as I found the tools, I just figured that's what everybody could do. And I just started telling all of my clients, hey, here's these tools, go get the app, go use this. And nobody was doing it. But when I started requiring that we do some in our session together, and I give them specific homework and exact things to think about while they use it, suddenly people couldn't get enough. My books were full because it was just insane how much people valued and needed that support. And I have seen since then just how much value it adds to have somebody to walk you through the process, both for accountability, but also for just knowing exactly what to think about while you're using the audio tracks, and what to work on next and how to get to those roots of the things that are bothering you today, those kinds of things, where I had been doing so much work on myself up until finding these tools that I knew exactly what needed to be plugged into the tools and what I needed to think about. But most people aren't there, and a lot of people don't have necessarily the motivation to take the time out of their day to do this on themselves without knowing that, hey, I'm going to go have a session with April next week, and I better have my homework done by the time I see her. So that tends to be a motivating factor for a lot of people who may not be self-motivated to stay on top of things just for themselves.
I know it's been incredible beneficial to help, because it's like anything else. When you're in it, you're in it. And you can't always get that panoramic view. And you've been incredible at going, oh, let's just open up the curtain and look at everything. And then it's like, oh, okay, that makes so much more sense. And exactly like what you're saying, that accountability of, oh my gosh, I have a session with April coming up. I better get my act together. Where have I been slacking? And it's almost like a workout. You've got to schedule it in.
Right.
And the cool thing is, 10, 20 minutes. I mean, it's been amazing work when you think of the difference of going in. And we've all had therapy, and, everyone should have some sort of therapy in this world, especially now, every day. But what's cool about this is you're not going in and you're not necessarily sitting there and reliving everything that's ever happened to you to get to the root of one thing. That's what I find has been so amazing, that we just dive right in, get to whatever needs to be derooted, so to speak, and then replace that with that positive belief that needs to be there. And then the next thing you know, you're blossoming.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people have some fear going into this process because in the past, when they have looked at their previous traumas and difficult things that have happened, or when they have allowed themselves to really feel their negative feelings, they've gotten lost in it. And it's been difficult for them to find their way out of those thoughts and feelings after wallowing in them, whether that's with a therapist or alone in your own bedroom. There tends to be that pattern of, okay, once I feel these feelings, how the heck do I let go of them? And so a lot of people, when they first are told to use these audio tracks while they think those thoughts and feel those feelings, they're afraid to do that because they're positive that there's no way they'll be able to get over it in 10 or 20 minutes. That's what happens is, you play this audio track, you follow the instructions on this audio track while you think your negative thoughts and feel your negative feelings. And then suddenly you're going, what was I so upset about? What? I can hardly even remember what the heck I was even freaking out about. What's wrong with me?
Totally.
So it's crazy how quickly that can happen, and just the immense relief that people tend to have even after our first session where I introduce them to the tools, because they walk in with something, and it never fails that something happens right before their first session that triggers the hell out of people. And so they show up really triggered automatically. So we just get right into it. I'm like, okay, here's the tools. Here's how what you're going to think about while you do it, and let's go. And then 10, 20 minutes later, they're going, oh, that wasn't that big a deal. Why was I so freaked out about that? Okay, let me move on with my day. And so it tends to give people an immense amount of hope to be able to achieve that.
Absolutely. And I would say, I know some of my personal hangups were, I don't want to be thinking negative thoughts. Like, I'm this manifestation over here. I don't want to pull that in. And I remember going to you like, I don't think I can do this. And you were like, no, it's fine. And it was like within that, even the first few sessions, or even now when I do sessions, literally within the first few minutes, whatever you're raging about or upset and you're crying or whatever you're working through, all of a sudden this relief washes over you and It's gone. It's desensitized, and it literally is that amazing. I am not even over exaggerating. It has been, for me personally, an incredible lifesaver.
Yeah, totally. And, it's a valid concern to worry about, am I going to manifest more of this negativity by wallowing in this negativity for the 10 or 20 minutes I need to do this work? Because everything we've been taught is, no, put a positive spin on things, try to keep your thoughts light, and it's garbage advice, honestly. But because
Right.
the
If you
brain is
want,
designed to look for negative. But it's almost as though there is a safety bubble around your brain, or, whatever it is that you believe helps you to manifest things. It is very clear that you are doing this work in order to resolve the issue so you can stop blocking yourself from what you want and stop resonating with the lack of something or the fear of something, to just remove and resolve that so that you can now resonate with what it is that you do desire. So it is very clear to your brain or the universe or whatever your belief is that you are doing this work for the purpose of release and relief and to move in the better direction of what you desire.
right. And the timing. I mean, we don't want to like just push the timing, but honestly, when you begin this isn't hours and weeks. This is minutes that you
Right.
literally are feeling relief. It is just that powerful and that unbelievable. So with that, I would say, in the time and in the years that you've been working with all of this, what has been your biggest aha moment with the work that you've been doing?
Oh my gosh. Well, the thing I always have to say to everybody is, if you want lasting, fast relief from anything emotional or belief-wise, you have to deal with it on the subconscious level of the mind. That, hands down, has been the biggest thing that I had to learn myself, but that I also want to spread to as many people as possible. But, it's interesting. There's a little side piece to all of this, because my biggest issue was needing the honeymoon phase to go on and on forever. And the odd thing that finally helped me figure out how to heal that is this other premise that we as adults use our sex lives and our love lives to try to get the needs met that weren't met for us when we were children. And I originally learned this from Jack Morin, who wrote the book, The Erotic Mind. But I like using the tools that we've been talking about to take it to a whole other level and to look at, what is it that we want in our love lives? What is it we want in our sex life? And honestly, what is it that we want in any area of our lives? Because like Danielle Laporte says, anything we want is about how we think we'll feel if we get it. So if you really look at what is the thing that you want, and then you break that down to, how will I feel if I get that thing, whether it's from your romantic partner, whether it's something you manifest, whether it's something at work, what is that thing you want? How are you going to feel if you get or achieve it? And then, when in your life has that need not been met for you? Did your parents meet that need for you? Has it been consistently or inconsistently met for you throughout your life? Healing the wounds on the subconscious level of all the times that need has not been met for you helps you to feel fulfilled regardless of whether you're getting that need met, stops you from resonating with the lack of that thing, and starts helping you just create it for yourself and attract more of it. So that, I feel like, is the key to everything, honestly.
In and of itself, it's actually the most amazing manifesting machine ever to help you release the low vibration and whatever blocks you have. I mean,
right.
If we want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Which is
exactly
pretty incredible. Oh my gosh. This has been amazing, April. Will you please share with our amazing community where they can reach out and connect with you and work with you?
Absolutely. So my website is apriladams.org. You can also go to apriladams.org /my work, which has a whole bunch of links about various aspects of my work and where you can apply to work with me. And also the tools that I work with, which are through Orpheus Mind Technologies, by the way, and they're working to get it covered by insurance and all kinds of things. So they're working on actually making these tools a medical device. I am the head of their training platform, and we are going to be starting a podcast of our own with Orpheus. And so they have asked me to do some interviews and also to do some episodes where I therapize people with the tools on the air. So people will be also invited to have a free podcast session with me if they kind of want to get a taste for what it is that I do and how I do it. They can apply for that at that page as well. And also, I'm on Instagram as April Adams Emotion Coach.
That is truly exciting news. Yay, congratulations on the podcast. I cannot wait to tune in myself.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so cool. I'm so excited for you. So as we're closing out the show today, what lasting piece of inspiration would you like to leave with us?
It's really about taking care of you, taking care of yourself first and foremost. And so many people have to feel like they put their kids first, or their husband first, or their job first, or their family first. And you can't give to everybody else constantly and just let it eat at you all the time. And, you tend to create a lot of resentment about life, about your relationships, if you're always putting everyone else before you. So, it's that ridiculous analogy on the airplane. Put on your own mask first before you help other people. Well, you have to have a full cup in order to be able to give to others, or what you're giving them is garbage. If you're giving them your effort and your time and your energy, but that's coming from a place of resentment and depletion and obligation, you're not actually giving them anything helpful. And, people can feel that. So if you really want to give people something good, you have to put yourself first, and you have to heal yourself and get yourself to a good emotional place in order to have something of value to give to other people.
Amen. We all need that. And that is very powerful inspiration to leave with us. Thank you. Well, I just want to let everyone know that all of April's contact information will be over in the show notes on jenniferpilates.com. April, thank you again for popping in and bringing all of your fabulous energies and your incredible insights on everything self-sabotage and mindset and subconscious. We love it here.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, as we say, until next time, may you live an empowered life from within. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Empowered Within with Jennifer Pilates. Your feedback is important. It helps me to connect with you and gives me insight into who you are and what you're enjoying about the show. For today's show notes and discount codes from today's sponsors, head over to jenniferpilates.com. Until next time, may you live an empowered life from within.